Hello everyone, we're back again with Ace Attorney the Great, and today is Easter Day, so this is now the official Easter case of Ace Attorney. Ain't that awesome? It has nothing really to do with Easter in the slightest, but whatever. Anyway, hope everyone's doing good. We just got through one of Sholmes's deductions thingies. So yeah, and we're gonna do it, okay? My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it, again? Well, your deductions just now... Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realm of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion has run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrideb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for the afternoon tea. Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes's deduction need. You can do it. Excellent, I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsumi's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let us start again. From the beginning of Herlock Sholmes's Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. I don't think anyone's here to see this, sadly. That's one of the problems with ending the thing, like, right in the middle of a thing. The stream right in the middle of a deduction thing, but... oh well. It's fine. Hold it. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your future glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrideb's reaction, rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature, but it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow Mr. Garrideb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. The true answer. What can it be? Mortar shells. Oh, here. What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garibdeb's wedding. Looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably not best not to delve too deeply here. Are you sure? Because... Take that! No. Do I have to zoom in and do it? I have to zoom in and do it, guys. I fell for it again. Behind the lion statue on the mantelpiece, almost deliberately hidden, is a photograph. I have yet to examine it in detail, even though I just did. I can assure you that it holds the answer, because I'm employing an extremely advanced detection technique called jumping to conclusions, you see. What precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following the natural progression of the deduction. Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is that you do not have to turn for observation or deduction. Did that hurt? Yes, a lot. Gotta zoom in completely, and also gotta stare at the guide once again. Yeah. Just to get thoroughly enough, we ought to find the answer. What did Mr. Garibdeb turn at? It's here somewhere, we need to find it. Alright, newlywed bride. Take that! There we go. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by the newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, the framed fixture's your wife, Mr. Garibdeb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late. The fact remains that the beast, which has so clearly savaged this room, was your wife, Mr. Garibdeb. Garg! The chilling truces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Horsepower is a shell of a way to describe a woman's arms. Yep. Welcome, Captain Chips. How you doing? How was your Easter? Did the Easter Bunny visit you? 'Cause he visited me. I got some things. I got a hollow rabbit and Reese eggs and normal chocolatey eggs. It was great. Well. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but as it plain to me, with one glance in your direction, didn't visit you, but we had a fantastic dinner. That's good. Fantastic dinner is good too. We had one as well at home. Some family peoples came over. So good Easter. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about the fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of a Mrs. Garibdeb anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garibdeb's wife could be. The maid killed her, I think. I think the maid killed his wife. Oh, what's this? Take that! Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed it does. The flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garibdeb's bride in this photographic print. indication may well be that Guriddeb's maid is in fact the wife in question. Well... In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Guriddeb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Guriddeb herself. Oh my word! Yay! So it's not a lion, but the wife. Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a bally cockerback. Arrgh! It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. Tch. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Guriddeb has his wife work as his maid? Her actions do make sense. Just being the typical, like, tough wife character you see in many animes. Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Guriddeb? Or the wife you see in some sitcoms that the husband just doesn't want to mess with. Only in company, obviously. But listen here, this must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. Alright, here we go. Now, Mr. Guriddeb, it is plainly clear that you still have a deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's calling Mr. Guriddeb's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. But Mrs. Guriddeb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head is some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Guriddeb's pain is tangible, though. What could that pose of his really signify? What could it be? Oh dear. What happened to his, cheek there? It looks slapped to me.
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Joan Guriddeb. Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Arrgh. How would the blazes? How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice. Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Guriddeb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that have given rise to the pain you suffer. Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Gariddub's wife. Mr. Naruhodo, she's a person, not a thing. Yes, well... She's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman that want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Why, guys, why? Pile of bills. Bookmark. Ah, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here. Look! Mr. Gariddub clearly is an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look at the look next to the signature here. Lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any idea, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. So this bookmark is actually a love note then. I think... love note.
Take that!
Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. Gah! But I don't know the Bali woman. You don't know her. The note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right, that's what I've been saying. Arrgh! A likely story. Now listen here, Jono thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at the second-hand place, and the note must have already been in there. So, the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's what I've been saying. Arrgh! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. Arrgh! A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah! This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly, indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only to look at the Tower of Cakes. But surely Mrs. Gariddub didn't eat the carpet? No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So, this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mrs. Gariddub's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can find. Yes! Alright. Let's examine this. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Huh. Maybe it's because it's somewhere else. Missing a candle is very strange. Oh, yes. It's like the candle was used accidentally. To explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only to look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of the logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. The scorch marks out at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Miss Garriddeb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused a candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds the carpet was alight and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, For the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of martial discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. He stands. Mr. Sholmes, sir, I salute you! Tough. Scaring her full of her husband. Elementary. Interesting, freak out. Yep, I love it. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of a fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material, for which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonish. Demolish might be rather closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly an apt Arrgh! Here we go again. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. Or one that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over there, Mr. Garriddeb? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Oof. Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. Then the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, backed up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books incoming to tens to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats, coming through again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deduction turned out to be correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder. I guess. I tell you, it was total carnage, flames everywhere, and the old stickin' full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. So at exactly the same time, as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. Old Blighty couldn't have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, what can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garriddeb's situation now, but what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. Ha 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 ha. Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into only one of two categories, those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up for your mind now. Sorry. Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? I must prepare supper for Mr. Garriddeb. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. So Seki-san will be waiting for us. I'm going to have to give him an answer. The answer should be no, right? Just no. Moving on. Next case. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. Yes, I know. Let's hail a car... Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over there in front of the Garriddeb's house. What? Oh. I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you calling an old man, you rum-looking nimny-pimny? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio. They are dreamt of your philosophy. Moving right along. Who is this Horatio fella, eh? What are you talking on about? What are you on about? Excuse me? What the? Who are you now? I am sorry, it just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on me way for today, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet. Get thee to a nunnery. Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? I will confess I don't remember these two. I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here, in the Garriddeb residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Garriddeb mentioned he had another lodger. This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a palmist in my battle of words ne'er could there be. Sorry, battle did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances, at least. So, fair maiden, so good gentlemen. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. Seems he's unaware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. Behold, a fop. That's exactly who he is. A fifth-fopper. With Sosuke-san and the man as lodgers, the Garriddeb house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsumi is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. There he is. This guy's twitching so weirdly. Oh, it's you. You're here. You came. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched. We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsumi. Oh, no, think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nipponese. Okay, oh now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand... this guy. It is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. It's you. The miserable, rotten spy, Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop it in on my way home, see how our divested friend is faring. Gloomful room? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that case, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight, and cost me not a penny. You! How dare you! Herlock Sholmes! I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings, no doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is bedamned. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth. And is there much truth in Mr. Mustache's words? What? Cursed is a wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Alright, let's talk. Mr. Natsumi, what do you mean by what you just said now, about the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no, why? Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really that really agitated him. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please, tell me. Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution, ever. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilded. What? I am impressed, Mr. Susato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself. Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Right. Okay. The Reaper. Van Zieks is a quite exceptional man. However, in London's courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, that's good. So Seki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in the British criminal trial there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use it to their advantage, by any means of their disposal, contriving evidence, calling impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury, which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, is from time to time, my dear madam, it is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my! Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Perhaps attacked by a highwayman. By highwaymen. Oh, no, no, no! All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, I knew it. I'm a dead dodo done for doomed. When you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garibdeb's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain, but I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. It didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there was a foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, far from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. Must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place." Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean, the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole. My sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I've been choked to death. In my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really, no one at all? To believe. Yes, to believe. To believe. Mr. Sholmes? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Pray, what can I do you for? It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. The Buria. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Well, yes. At the time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did, didn't I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe in me? I see. Yes, you mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances I can hang as far as I am concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment. Nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning? Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You were so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Oh dear, there is never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume? If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in, the defendant, justice, or the truth? How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime, and it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Miss Susato, yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I've said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind, but it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time that I learn to believe in myself. So Seki-san has no one. He's all alone, so it's my job to help him, to fight his corner, tomorrow, in that courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. It's that time again. Time for the to be continued. Who's ready for a trial? Well, I never expected this. Who would have thought we'd be back here again so soon? We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. Game time, oh yeah. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing, in which case treating it as a research may seem a little crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Good morning. Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression, but I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early. I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. Now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people take things so literally? Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. Looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Mr. Susato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zieks? Is that right, Mr. Susato? I purchased many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zieks is on the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zieks' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's, but we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers. Mundane? Mundane? Is the most significant saga of the centuries to some of us? Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, at least we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance
of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention, but there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you. Me? Well, I suppose that's true. Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with a little in the way of experience or skills, or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end. I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, you will always be by your side. Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant, Mr. Mikotoba Esquires S. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live. Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go. Yes! Here we go! This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom, and my second trial against the Reaper. Hope you're watching over me, Kazuma, because this time I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. I'm gonna open my window real quick. It's getting hot. Pretty soon it'll be shorts weather again. Finally. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Here we go. And something cool about this particular case, guys. The jurors are different. The jurors change every single case. So, what could be the jury this time around? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry? What? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London about 2 days ago. A mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Susato-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Very true, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate violent end. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? You never know who you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say, I think it's quite possible that mustache foreigner did the deed. Oh great. Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Very well, let us proceed. Didn't you say that there was gonna be, like, someone we knew as a juror? Like, someone that we talked to, like, in the, walking around part of the game? Is juror number 6 always someone older? This time he is. I don't know about the last case. But juror number 4 looked very familiar to me, though. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zieks. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. You insinuated that one of the jurors did it? Oh, that one. Gotcha. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are.
Just look at the sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Come on, let's get this over with. Wish me with me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that.
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollow chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Detective Gumshoe. Gregson. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green.
I beg your pardon, Inspector? Thought to be?
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by your attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose. I see. But her life is not in danger?
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far.
Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
What of the weapon that was used? We should check this out, maybe, huh? A young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Olive green female, stout build, early 20s. Payment of Briar Road. A Rolly beat. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Huh. Psst. Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ouch, that big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scraggy-looking Soseki-san, I suppose. A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have anything that much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
If theft and grievance had been ruled out as motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery, but your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Yes, sir.
How in trouble would Van Zeeks be for throwing a fresh bottle of wine right behind him in the audience? As I said, there was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on his way home from the bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Old books, you say?
Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here at the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident. Ouch.
Ah, yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat, denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Well,
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Miss Susato?
Do go on.
Mr. Natsumi has admitted to playing some part in the incident.
Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now that you mention it, when we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us of what had all happened. As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat. She was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed into the cold, hard slab of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me, back to my accursed lodgings. A green overcoat.
Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of this heinous crime of stabbing a woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused's lodgings. It's this place here, Bourbon Books, a little place on the corner of Briar Road and Mearsham Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road, at the opposite end, which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route that he would have taken home. Something like this.
Okay. Hey, Gray.
You're just in time, Gray. We're in court right now. How you doing, though? It's good to see ya. The case this time, Gray, I'll give you a little update on the case. Let's see. This guy is accused of stabbing a lady in the back. This lady here. Only the two of them were there.
What's up?
Nothing much. I hope your day's going good. Was no other people nearby. And yeah, that's what's going on here. He was buying books. He saw the lady and then she was stabbed. So he claims. And hey, Blue Thunder, it's good to see you too. How was your Easter? Happy Easter, everyone. Hope everyone had a good one. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that's what the inspector just told us.
Just told us to be vital importance. Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being the name. Happy Easter. I am doing good, Blue Thunder. I am awesome. How about you and Gray? Is Gray and Blue Thunder doing good? Inspector Grayson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please?
Happy Easter.
I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe?
Oh, well, you know.
I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue. By the way, Gray, this is Phoenix's ancestor, just to let you know. This takes place many, many years in the past, and this is the first Phoenix Wright, we'll say. You're watching WWE. What do you mean, he's? You're he's. And the show is going to end, so happy you went to the pool. Nice. Hope you had a good time at the pool. Could be a clue. Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say. Could the man be any more sardonic? Sardine-onic? My day was good. I had a big meal, ate a lot of food, had some desserts. There's some cheesecake left over. So today was a good day. Very good day. Alright. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. I got it, guys. It's this.
Objection!
Give me a second. Okay, if I could stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is the receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accuser's room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books. Your Books? I presume? Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection!
But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes, for what difference it makes. Whenever the man purchases musty tombs, it makes no difference in the final analysis. I disagree. I mean, after all, I have the street map here, if that might be of help. Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place with where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true?
My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir, what you just said? Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books established? Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that Your Books is just here on the next corner of Meerschaum Street going east. Aha! Ho ho ho! And there you have it, as you can clearly see it. Oh. My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus. Grr, you put that glass down now or I'll put it down for you. I, didn't think that I needed to spell it out, but here we go. The accused was coming home from Your Books instead of Warbin Books. There's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Yes, thank you, Inspector. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Wherever the man purchased his musty tombs, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Arrgh! As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try. What did I say? I have had enough of this now. Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that? Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't give up. What? What do you mean? If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsumi is guilty. Ah, she's absolutely right. We must think. We must consider that the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully. They claim Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from Your Books, but... Objection! Alright, the assertions just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from Your Books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsumi could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
Tucking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. Ah! On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Objection!
But, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsumi what route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly, from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. I don't believe this! I thank you, my learned friend. and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors? But even if that is the case, the defense still... Oh. I agree with Lord Van Zeeks, wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean?
We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! 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 Guilty!
Welp. It was him. Which one? Which him? It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous. The guilty guy? Oh, the guy that was guilty the whole time? But we're defending him, though. We can't be guilty. Or he can't be guilty. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo?
No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I shall have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury.
The judges said guilty, so you're cooked?
Yeah. I do have one more ace up my sleeve, though. Ace in the hole, okay? I have to tip the balance of those skills the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the eyes of a quarry not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to wield your rights against in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Careful where you keep that ace.
I know. I keep it in all the wrong places. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with the Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncas refusal to throw in his alley. Very well then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Alright, here we go. For pity's sake, the little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back up in the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Your books. Yes, nice shop that. But Bourbon books? No, not worth the visit.
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accursed. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say I would have an ample grounds to convict this man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsumi's guilt now.
Why did he have to run away like that?
How are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue...
Yes, I know, I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. You have no choice but to forge forward.
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination. Yes, my lord.
Smack.
just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. Here we go. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
Hold it!
Excuse me, but aren't you... Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face, or the side of it anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. It was all going swimmingly until you started forsicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Sorry? Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals. Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge. Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around and the police have been badgering me non-stop. If I could turn back the clock... Well, anyways, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. Thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind, given our awkward history. Juror number 1 did it. Captain Chips thought that last time, actually. Maybe it's him. Oh dear, I wonder what become of Mr. First now. If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, then why, it can only have been the victim.
Hold it!
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone's wearing green was the victim. And clearly that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. Let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly, claiming the woman slipped simply collapsing before his eyes. But if that's a lie as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds? That's racist? I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could possibly have committed this awful crime. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple. Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit. Oh my, you are too kind, my lord. That went well, for her. Well, the man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookstop, not in winter.
Hold it!
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books. Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it? Calabash Road or something? Precisely. But it seems to me that's what counts as whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yes, that's true as well. And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's annoyingly true. Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you'd want to get home as quickly as possible. Well, yes. Why is all this true? So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road. I'm supposed to be convincing you here. I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash Road way, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would. A reason why Soseki-san might have taken the longer way home. Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
Hold it!
Whatever is the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Garrett, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume's room?
The master's wife? Where do you get your ideas, sir? I'm the maid. The maid, you understand?
She's keeping up that charade. This is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you'd been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now.
And in that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort.
What?
Spending all his time in that dark and dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something. Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more.
Well, you just called him a worm, so...
Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak.
She said enough damning things already. I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? We got work to be doing.
Hold it!
A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's.
Huh?
The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing, and if you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of the year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. There's after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk it is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
What? Another coincidence?
That's right. Mearsham Street it was.
Mearsham Street? On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point in that? Can we just get this business over with now? Please, sir. It's important. Fine, I'll do it then. On the day it happened, I was digging up Mearsham Street from dawn till dusk.
Maybe, guys, we have something. Maybe we have a thing here. Hit you and was it this one? This one, right?
Objection!
Those 2 statements are clearly at odds with one another.
At odds?
Counsel, explain yourself.
Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
What? I just want to get this done and dusted.
Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books, and on the same day, we now know that there was work being carried out on Mearsham Street, making it impassable, which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Mearsham Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? You must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So, the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have.
I suppose that must be right, eh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, but
We see now that he had no choice.
Yes. My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes?
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I like to see this trial continue so we can get on to the bottom of what really happened. Yay! What about you, sir?
Who, me? Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in, that's what I say.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful.
Well, we managed to change a couple minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat.
Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leadings are really right or not. Now, if only we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. We might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. Van Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Thank you, counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Alright. One more person to, talk to. Your books, then? Nice shot, that. But Morbin books? No, not worth a visit.
Hold it!
Sorry. Fold it, you say? Fold what? No. What I said was, hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Oh, yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry, not after the dreadful time I had. What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road? That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now. Poor guy. You've changed 2 of the jurors' minds, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, just 2 more to go. Deliver the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here. Wish I knew how to do a Susato takedown. I suppose words will have to suffice for now. Alright, let's, save real quick. He said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Why it only have been the victim? Pit. Look who else is wearing green, guys. Huh?
Objection!
Those 2 statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6. My, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. But the man says he had no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way.
Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection!
Can we really be sure of that, madam? My, whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat, who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my! My goodness, you mean... That's right, I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today? That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man had a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me.
Sorry, you need a pee?
And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsumi saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. If that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my!
You idiot old man, if you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago.
And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk on the streets these days? Huh? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat? Is it?
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you. And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well...
Yay!
Well, that summation examination is concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The ayes 2, the noes 4, so the noes have it. Not guilty, they say, which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Great. Immediately an objection from Mr. Wineglass. Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust? Pray, forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks?
It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited those jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we haven't just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Eh?
Whatever do you mean?
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth.
Indeed. Stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor.
Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent the pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, and we just turned any gentlefolk back when they came. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town. Ah! Is that true? Is it? The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on the way back from his lodgings to his lodgings, Mr. Natsumi walked down Briar Road. Crushed in a single sentence. And, old man, cold man, you can talk. You say that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slept and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Arg! Order, order! Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself. My lord, if you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination? I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience you no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. Oh, off goes the cloak. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What? What are you talking about? My lord, the prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand. Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses. Its next witnesses? Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? You've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember, one of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. All right, no matter who Van Zeeks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent, and I'll keep believing it to the very end until this battle is over. Hey, Copeland, how you doing? You're just in time. How you doing? I'm doing good. We're in the middle of another crazy case. How has your day been so far? Hope your streams today were exciting and stuff. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Constable Royally Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town's hero's wife.
Rest of your day was pretty good. How about you? I'm doing great. I'm playing this game after all, and we're just meeting our final witnesses, our final characters of the day. So since these are the last guys, I'll ask everyone in chat who's been paying attention, who is the one that stabbed the lady in the back? Who is the murderer? Who's not really the murderer, actually. But who's the murderer this time around? What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was talking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Freaking Patricia. Freaking Patricia is giving me yandere vibes. What does that mean again? Yandere? Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know? They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights. There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. It's a sweet and loving until they see you with anything remotely approximating another woman, then they go full murder. Oh, so Patricia, you think maybe? I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet, I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. They're called Bobbies. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir. What a great witness he's going to be. She's giving you that kind of vibe. Well, lock in your vote. What does everyone else think? I know Copeland hasn't seen this case long enough to make a good guess, but we'll see who it is. Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir. He's sleepy. Okay.
It was our wedding, it was our wedding. We were getting married and...
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal.
There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events is that you established in summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate chanting on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less, to appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work.
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Bennett? Mrs. Beat, rather?
No, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Let's go. A 3-stream streak. Now you're cooking, Copeland. Now you're getting up there. Haha. Now wait till you reach 5, and then 10. Kinda here to the point you were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes, although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What's that now?
My warrant card, sir, proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir! And for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without grumble, because I know the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to feel here to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot of being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Anyway, 2 silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Hold it!
2 silhouettes?
That's right, they were coming toward us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see? There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling? Well, yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground, but Briar Road is dead straight, and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you just said? You're back from the wrestling thing? How's the game going? It's going good. I'm cross-examining the final members of this case, or the final characters that we'll see. There could be more witnesses later. But yeah, how was the wrestlings?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. Starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, didn't it? You flipped the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonable, clear idea of the situation just before the incident. Now, what happened in the crucial moments that followed? Give me a second, guys. Okay. Cool.
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off.
Hold it!
Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Well, yes, that's right. It was some old books.
I see. Old books.
Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print. It was awesome. I'm glad. Glad your wrestling was epic.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it!
let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taunt mouth, the snub nose, everything. Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down on that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind this court that this ambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue.
Yes, sir! We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? Well, yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point, but a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat, so I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat that incident fell under, so she could go and report it. I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Barbie on duty. There is nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir. Let's move on, shall we?
It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him clear as day.
Hold it!
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps were more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe, but it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes your eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was the little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? What? Yes, it was the accused and no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taunt mouth, and the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir!
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Sosuke-san and they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day?
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no, then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here? What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
The statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the past memory of that day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Ugh, why do I always seem to be so up against it? Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... Seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right, is it? Well, out with it. What? No. Oh, no, it's really not like that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? I didn't know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one, I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. Beat.
No, it won't do at all. The Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute, that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause that offense. Please put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat? Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped on the scene.
The thing she just said there seems very suspicious. After all, guys, how many books do you see in the picture? Exactly.
Objection!
So you're saying that there were 4 books? A whopping 3. Haha.
That's right, I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and the Thing Gummy Something.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What? What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books.
But no, that can't be. I saw them. I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me.
Sorry?
It's that big old lump of a dead body. So the lady so large her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book. That's all.
Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But Mr. Natsumi could not have possibly have dropped the 4 books you describe.
Why not?
Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume.
Ah, evidence.
Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books?
That would be the
receipt.
Give me a second, guys.
Okay, the evidence is right here in the form of this bookshop receipt. From your books?
Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsumi's purchases that day, but as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No! Therefore, Mr. Natsumi would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied on. Grrr. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! No!
Objection!
Great. It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene, a fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving.
Ah!
So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Oh,
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, the total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
but what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print.
That print? You mean to say...
Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
Oh, I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
As you will observe, their 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. No!
Hordar! Hordar!
There, you see? Look at that. Look.
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the book purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur something or somebody or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's its yearnings?
Canterbury yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for Gab Boreau, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord. The photograph clearly shows the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book? I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel?
My pleasure, my lord.
Yay! Woo!
The book entitled The Lion's Pride. Feels like I've heard that animal name somewhere before. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add.
What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend, but your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempt discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I? You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do we do now?
I'm gonna raise an objection.
Objection!
Okay, I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... Arg. I can't think of what to say. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed, for a lowly judicial assistant having the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh! I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer, so you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential, and her opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruhodo! One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Miss Susato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? Well, the court has been presented with the new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. That judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. We must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Good idea. Let's do that real quick. The Lion's Pride. What is this? Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt. You're right. Never been able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? What could this mean, guys? What could it do with the meaning? Yes, I understand, and thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked. There was someone with a burnt carpet recently. Very true. But what does this mean, though? Why is the book, well, the burnt carpet and the book, why was the book there?
Take that!
Let's do the book. Right. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing this matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Arg. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You identified this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track. Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which this fourth book conceals? That would be burnt.
Got it!
Give me a second, guys. Okay. I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh, were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to this case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book? There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this starry tomb has suffered? Its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth. About the book's owner. I beg your pardon?
But we've already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell into the floor after all. It's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originates, Ted, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how can you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise, but do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of that burnt book?
It's none other than...
You.
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. The landlords? Or the landlords? Wrong voice. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... Of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh my goodness. Me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house? I would never presume to know all the books in the keep, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accuser's landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
No. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Afraid to say it happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride.
So your thoughts of one of the jurors was the true culprit was going to happen faster than you thought?
Do you have your answer? The question is how, though? The Lion's Pride? By Jove, the very same title that the subject of this debate. Oh dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garidev was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garidev even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly?
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. Had all my favorite old novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I, backed up against the window, under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books incoming tens to the dozen. The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him? Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through the window and landed coincidentally on the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there is no report of the Garidev's window pane being broken.
That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garidev household. But it is not conceivable that the window was open at the time
not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Does the defense postulate the scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown at by Mr. Garidev's wife? I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough. Oh?
Well, I hope that everyone can see for you what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward, a mean coward.
Really?
Claiming that a little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight? Honestly? Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake? How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, and not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nippani spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But, think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is the little hunchback with the mustache, and he ran away from the scene too.
I do declare you're right. It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me.
Sorry, what's that?
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zieks? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings, but then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What? No forgive the discourtesy this time? Ahem. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's capability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Crap. Not again. Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. Miss Susato? Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting...
Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asked to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have the tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Whew. Just an uphill battle with this attorney, huh? But then again, that's every Phoenix Wright case. I have considered the defense's counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for their court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime if the window was closed, can it? Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Wow, what a helpful last statement that was. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness's testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued in any other way.
That means I'm afraid that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here?
Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted.
And there I was thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel? Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now.
Smack!
Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid, or should I say, Mrs. Garadeb.
We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found on in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Woo! Here we go again. I should save, probably, huh? Better save the game.
The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he?
Those 3 books of his.
Hold it!
But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3.
Well, what difference does it make?
There's every possibility that the 4th book, if in fact belongs to the defendant's landlord.
Yes, that's the part I have a problem with.
Sorry?
Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said?
That's not exactly how I put it, no.
Well, anyway, the point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such delight in your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So I read them in the first place. You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say? And not at all extreme. As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony, so despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and irrational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know? So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you can come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. Glad you omitted rational there.
Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open?
What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been.
How can you be so sure?
The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see?
But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you?
It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it.
Then what's the point of even having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering.
Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Hold it!
But that little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Maybe the fact that things were on fire and smoke was billowing around.
Oh, maybe. That might be a reason to open the window.
Well, don't you agree? Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garideb. Never you mind that. The point is we were just having a jolly little dispute, nothing more. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. What about juror number 5?
Doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garideb's relentless onslaughts. It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home in some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I?
If I don't bring home some Readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. Situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry? It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blacked it out. Helpful. I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf. Don't even go there, Mr. Sato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's capability in this case? Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top it did. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Of course not. It was an angel cake. To celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all my piff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. How did you catch a cold from the fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, he had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows? The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. Won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was a devil worship all along, but something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. Well, there you have it, guys. Birthday candles are devil worships. Needed to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsumi, could have attacked the young woman on the street, well as how he or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the juror statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation. Yes, I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions, just a connection that might do the trick. Alright, see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike. That's the spirit. So I know the last jury wouldn't be acceptable in today's jury courts. The last one, but would this one be? Alright. Let's do a little bit of a savey. Something tells me this one would not be also allowed. Anyway, pit. You and you.
Objection!
These two juror statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3, do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. I don't think the maid would have been allowed on basis she knows the defendant, and the first guy wouldn't be allowed because he's prejudiced against the defense. So those two. How about the one old guy? He sounds too old to be a juror, let's just say. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh. Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household, and Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke. He's basically fine. Alright, fine. You can stay then. Oh, my hat! Oh. What are you doing?
Excuse me!
Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? Mr. Garadeb. Mrs. Garadeb, sorry. Oh, dearie me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire? Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course, I should have realized. Is this a healthy Is this a healthy marriage, guys? That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish that the window was open. You simply must have that added to Mrs. Garadeb's formal statement. No. I would say no too, probably. Alright. Let's, press.
Hold it!
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. Hey, Edgewolf! How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Have you been lurking all this time, or did you just get here? And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadeb told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it? Yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. You just got here at 11:25-ish. You forgot about the stream, sadly. Oh man, it's fine. I'm glad you're here now, Hedgewolf. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as well you know. I really don't. I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. What?
Excuse me!
What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I've remembered what it was. That memory I blocked out. Huh? It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garadeb, or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. Is that guy's, marriage even worse, do you think? It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, I put my hands in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight, I've lost the day's wages, love. I'd reckon yes, his married life is shambles. Poor guy. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep. Okay, his marriage is a lot worse. No words, just terror. I could smell it then, you know, the god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor. Use a bow or the like. What? Attack? Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. Alright. A woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. Okay. I got it. Or hopefully I got it. Let's do a little save. No attacking loved ones. Hedgewolf, you're a girl, right? Would you do that to your future loved one? Would you ever do that? I hope not. Anyway, let's put picture 5 and juror 2.
Objection!
The two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. No, you will not do that. Good. Just scream at him a bit. That's all you gotta do. These two statements have the connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel! At once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? You've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated from Mr. Garrideb's room at the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrideb household to the streets below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Garrideb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that, ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern gala. As a foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't had any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. Does that make it accidental murder? Well, technically the lady isn't even dead yet, so it's an accidental knifing, maybe? The other object that found its way from the Garrideb household to the scene of the crime was the jackknife.
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garrideb. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this, but I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Huh? Good lord, counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb were in the throes of an argument. Mr. Garrideb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window, a window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Ha! Another accidental crime? You're kidding me. Yeah, I guess so. Yes, I admit there are many details which we don't yet understand, but that's the point. That's precisely why. We must now not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my! Ugh! Mrs. Garrideb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh, These people need to be more careful.
I know, right? When throwing their knives. My lord!
I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman!
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
Yay! We did it! Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo!
So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors leaning have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided, and this trial will continue.
Yay!
Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? How does magic firework in court? Good question. I wouldn't know how this jury flame thing works. It just does. Yeah, just pour a glass, that's fine. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrideb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrideb's house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagine. And as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portent to significance, that 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. That doesn't look right. The map there. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house traveling some 15 yards, to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic, serialized detective stories have more believable plots.
There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Miss Susato, serialized detective stories are pathetic, aren't they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes. Go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning.
Oh, the wine, actually. The wine exploding on the fire there. Yeah, he does that a lot.
And as such, this court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garadeb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? Order! Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zeeks?
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine, and my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly.
What say you, witnesses?
Yes, sir. Constable Royley Beats reporting for duty, sir.
Well, good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing until now, sir. Haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies.
Ah, Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon.
Well, I guess you were wrong about this person's wife, Captain Chips. Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request.
Oh.
And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, unlike the other two, this wife is actually very nice.
Very devoted. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. Believe me, a London bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows of the top floor of the Garadeb house are top hinge casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Well, this is quite startling. Top hinge casement windows.
That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Ah, yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. Ahem.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir!
Sorry, but what exactly is a top hinge casement window?
And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
Of course, sorry.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's room.
All right, I'll try.
So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as it's a top hinge casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see? I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount.
It prevents it opening? This is all news to me.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
No.
You see the problem, then? Good, your education in windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. It is, unless the window pane has been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be.
Did you see him? Did you see that, Rolly? The young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed? Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination. My lord. Oh good, another desperate situation. Well guys, I am looking at the time, and sadly I need to end it right here. But don't worry, next stream, Case 4 will be complete, and we'll already be on Case 5. So yeah, I hope everyone had a good Easter. Hope the Easter Bunny visited everyone today. He didn't visit Captain Chips, but maybe he visited you, Hedgewolf. But take care, guys. Love you all. Enjoy your day tomorrow. And we got more Hello Kitties on the morrow. Take care. Bye-bye.